Hey.
We're not there yet.
Ah,
Hi.
hey. Did I say hi?
Yes.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
We gotta wait a second. We gotta fill like the space for like 30 seconds while people come in.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So we need to see if the chat is working. And if it isn't, we have a backup plan this time.
We do. Let's find out.
Let me make sure I let everyone know.
Perfect.
And Twitter.
Should I show the brand of this water or keep it obscured?
I have a feeling they're probably not going to be watching this. Okay.
I'm gonna have a lovely sip from my Aquafina water.
So, if you don't know, I'm Griffon Ramsey.
I'm Marshall Rimmer.
Marshall Rimmer.
I'm Max Kruemcke.
Okay. And maybe we should mention everyone's Twitter handle to you right away. So if you want to talk to us directly, that's another way to get our attention. If the chat doesn't work for you, I'm going to give everyone your Twitter account.
After you, milady.
At Griffon Ramsey.
Do we say at?
Let's find out.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm at MR. Should I spell it out?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I'm at MRIM86. MRIM86.
Okay.
It kind of rhymes, so it's easier.
Cool. And you.
I've got Max Cookie.
At
Twitter.
Max Cookie.
At Max Cookie on Twitter.
Like the food.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
So we're kind of doing an AMA style thing. So we'll have to wait a minute to answer your questions as soon as we can see them. Until then, do you guys have any interesting projects you want to talk? First of all, Marshall, you're in town for the summer.
I'm in town for the summer, so I'm here for a couple months at least to wreak as much havoc as possible.
Living in our house.
Hoping the city of Austin halfway burns down by the end of it, it might be me who's responsible.
And then you'll be gone.
And I'll be gone. So sorry.
Wow.
Sorry, Austin, for
So you
destroying all the beauty.
You have 2 months to stop Marshall from doing anything fun. And while you're here, we're going to be working on videos. But then you have some side projects. Can you talk about anything, or is it top secret?
They're pretty top secret.
Okay.
I don't know what I can talk about.
Well, maybe just the structure of things, like short film.
I'm trying to do
web
some
series.
kind of like bizarre pseudo experimental feature.
Okay.
I say pseudo experimental because it's like not super traditional, but yeah, I'm gonna shoot like half of it, and if it works, then I'll continue. If it doesn't work, then I'll say, well, that was stupid.
A short story.
Yeah. So we'll see.
And Max, what do you have going on?
Well, I'm still working on drawing a bunch of stuff to show off some stuff later, but still not quite there yet.
And you can't talk about it.
I don't know. I feel like
This is the best.
it's hard for me to like talk about
Ask me
it.
anything, but I can't.
I
But
feel
I
like
can't tell you
if you want to
anything.
know more about it, I'll talk about it. But I don't know. That's very entertaining.
Yeah.
Do people
Yeah.
ever do Ask Me Nothings?
Ask me
Is that-
Yeah, ask me.
Is that a thing?
Just don't ask.
Just don't.
Oh, people are in the chat. Good, so it's working. Do we have any questions
I'm
yet?
still.
Okay. So yeah, I think we've for some reason the YouTube chat decided just not to show up this time.
Okay, so are any of the chats working?
We have our disposable chat room, which if you look down in the YouTube comments, I have commented the name of our little disposable chat room. So
Yeah.
we'll see if that works. And if it doesn't, then we'll figure something else out.
Okay. Just let us know on Twitter if it's not working. But yeah, the disposable chat, the link is in the comments
Comments.
below us.
Below.
Well, which comments? I mean, right?
The comments.
The comments above. They could have us in a window that's down here.
All
And they
right.
could be reading comments up there. You never know. People do a lot of weird things these days.
It's true.
They do.
It's
But,
hot.
It's a little bit hot in here, but we're rocking the warehouse feel.
Yeah, we're gonna get listening
Yeah.
by the end of this.
I'm already there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very, very therapeutic.
Somebody misses somebody on the podcast.
And somebody just said Marshall.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think this might be outdated though. It's talking like hasn't started yet. So, and the other chat isn't quite here yet. Well, let me talk a little bit about what we're doing. So, projects right now. Going to start shooting carving videos and trying to do more stuff that's on location. I don't want to give too much away. If you just stop me at some point, you're like,
I'm all about top secret.
All
That's
right.
why we're doing an AMA.
Yeah.
AMA.
AMA. Yeah.
AMA.
An ANA.
Ask nothing, always.
So we want to try to, because it's starting to, I don't know, I mean, it's similar process each time. So I do want to do some more collaborations and incorporating some new materials. But for the most part, since it is a little bit of the same sort of thing, like we're going to try to experiment more going out on location and just carving different places and having fun. And I've got a trip coming up next week. I have to go to Pennsylvania for the Butler Chainsaw Carving Invitational in Butler, Pennsylvania. So if you're in the area, come out for it. It's the 15th through the 17th of this month. And there's a bunch of awesome carvers there. And you can buy some art.
What is the Butler, like what is in Butler?
They carve a bunch of.
That's
butlers,
what they got.
It's
Oh,
Oh,
they
like
carve
the
a
Butlers?
bunch of wait staff.
Oh, it's like, are you gonna carve a Butler? That would be really ironic and meta.
It would be really on.
You could really rock the Austin brand. You're just like, hey, I'm just gonna carve exactly an ironic joke.
I had actually something else in mind. But that's, I'm going to think about that one.
The butler has to have a mustache.
Yeah.
They had the little Jeeves one though. It's like this size.
Yeah.
Actually, I can tell people what I want to carve
Sure.
in the vaguest way. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar
She's gonna
with.
carve wood.
She's going to carve wood.
Yeah.
We know that much.
Yeah.
She's not moving on
Wood
to.
that
It'll
possibly.
probably be white pine that we're working with because that's usually what they use up there. And I think I've seen the logs. It looks like white pine. But some of you are probably familiar with this book.
Oh, I'm very familiar. I
Spike
have a
Jones.
Max. I have a
Spike Jones
Max.
wrote
I have a
that.
Max costume.
You have a mix. Oh, really?
Yeah, Max pajamas somewhere.
That's cute. What
pretty
was that
adorable.
for? Was that for like the
Just-
art erotica?
No, just I mean I could use it for that, but just for the premiere.
Well, I'll show you the what I.
Can we do story time?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll read to you. We'll do an ASMR story time. We'll whisper to you. Okay, so for the headboard, I want to carve this scene. And all the parts right here of the sky are going to be cut out, so it'll be open, kind of latticey, but with characters.
I think that's too tough. So
Well, the thing is,
I couldn't. Do
you
it,
get around
is
to
what I'm
their-
saying, and I'm pretty good.
it will be a little bit tough. But when you go to these things, you want to kind of show off a little bit more. Do you try something a little harder, work a little faster?
And if you fail at yours, you can always like take a chunk out of someone else's, right?
This is why most carvers don't tell anyone what they're carving, because then
Okay.
they can carve something a little smaller. That's
What if they're all
totally different.
watching this right now? They're gonna beat you too.
Well, I'm not very good at keeping secrets. Something you should know.
Yeah.
And then the last scene, the footboard is going to be. I want to do this. It'll have to be kind of composited from different parts of the book. So 2 trees to border it to be the posts, with water, and then his empty boat waiting for him for when he's done. With
Is it gonna be a waterbed? That's pretty good.
I had a waterbed
That's
once and it was
pretty
amazing. And I told Millie about it, and she's like played up the idea of the waterbed so
Do
much.
people actually, is that still a thing anymore? Like,
I don't know where you can get it. I don't know if you can get them.
Waterbed?
Yeah.
I'm sure you got to be able to get a
Is the
waterbed.
chat going? Does anyone know?
There are people commenting.
Anyone have a waterbed
Yeah.
they want to sell?
Yeah, tell us about waterbeds.
We can't find. Oh, look! Some people made it
Oh
in.
yeah.
People that just made it into the chat room. Tell the other people.
Maybe these trees bordering
Tell
it
the
on each
other
side
people.
with water, and then this. I could maybe figure out the moon, but that might be kind of hard. It's splitting the sky. So the background could be stars. If I wanted it to be more solid. I don't know.
Amazing. We've got some people finding their way to the chat room. I'm going to keep on commenting for a second.
Now,
These
is this Butler thing? Is it selective, or like could I sign up? To
It
call
is like it's invitation only.
Could they
and
invite me
that
somehow?
is-
Could you pull some strings?
Well, I did invite you, and you had wedding food, so I have to actually. These guys both had things to do, so I'm trying to hire a guy from Cleveland right now, and like I saw his work, I like it, but he hasn't gotten back to me, so I'm kind of
You might be watching. Let's get back to Griffin if you're watching.
yeah. Let's work this out.
Well, so we've got some questions.
Oh,
So
yeah.
let's dive right in.
Okay.
We have Wrestler Robbie says, "Were you scared the first time you mounted a camera to Griffin's chainsaw?"
Oh right.
I wasn't scared when I first mounted it, but like I remember, the closer you get, the better a shot it is, right? So trying to get as close to the blade as possible. It was a GoPro, so it wasn't like my most expensive camera, but still.
Well,
a
and you
camera.
guys
I mean,
both
still-
have had chunks flown at you before. You
Yeah.
had to like skip out of the way.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Yes.
I didn't worry about it at first, but then I felt like as I was doing it, like I would get closer and closer, and then I'm like, That thing has a bunch of like tons of blades. Like if Griffon just like accidentally does, you know, like oops, like it's like there goes my arms. So
it's the yes.
well, of course, but a
We should treat it
responsible
like that.
chainsaw carver
Yes.
knows.
So
where
I
they're
think
going.
it might be a little bit harder to cut through a limb. I've never tried it.
You probably
We can
have to
try it.
really commit to it.
Well, maybe not so much for flesh. Maybe not. But people always think, they've always asked me, have you ever slipped and cut through a carving? It's like, no, actually it takes some effort to make cuts.
Huh.
Like it takes strength, you know.
Yeah, the scariest thing for me is like sometimes I'll be shooting and I'm zoomed in, I guess a lot wider than I think I am. So I'm a lot closer than what it appears on the screen.
So you, like,
and I'm
come up
like
real
not
close.
looking up and I'm like, oh yeah, that almost cut my camera in half. Cool.
I didn't know that.
Cool. Yeah.
I'll try to keep an eye out for you guys.
Hold on.
How's the chat going?
It's going great. People are coming all in. 86.
Hello, newcomers.
Yeah.
And newcomers to the chat.
The old comers are gonna feel it.
Oh, and thank you for sticking around,
yes,
old comer.
yeah.
Old comer is not a great name. Sorry.
So I just tweeted out the thing. Just tweeted it out. If you still can't find the chat,
And you can like
I'm Max Kruemcke on Twitter. You have to go look at my tweets now. So this was all a ruse.
it was a yeah,
It was a ruse.
And then you are at mrim86.
Yes,
MRIM86.
that's correct.
Yes.
On Twitter. And
On
also
Twitter.
on Instagram too, right?
I think I have one picture on Instagram. I'm plugged in. I'm there.
You're like, got
I'm
your finger on
so
the
but
pulse of
everyone's
things.
seen that one picture, so you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next question. Well, let me get to some of our YouTube comments before we get into all of our chat stuff, since the room's still populating up. Oh, somebody was asking actually in the chat. Leo said, "Carve Jeff's face out of wood."
I kind of sort of inadvertently did that already.
I feel like, is it around here?
No, I sold
No.
it. I carved a zombie, and actually, I can try to find the link really fast. Probably easy to get. Would be the best one to see.
No.
Anyway, if you go to my public Facebook page, so facebook.com/GriffonRamseyRT, 2014, you have to be committed to this. In the 2014 photo album of wood carvings, it's in there. There's a zombie, and he ended up looking more and more like Jeff, and at the end, and then Jeff was like, "Why do you want me dead?"
It's terrifying.
It was some weird.
We were talking about subconscious like sabotaging us earlier, and I think that might have been, like
Yeah.
zombie Jeff is somewhere.
What were we
Deep
talking
in the back
about?
of your brain.
What was the point of that?
Like when you sign up for projects that you don't want to be doing, and you're like, yeah, I'll do it, and then the whole time you're doing it, you're like, this is awful, but like you have to do it.
And
You always find ways like, oh, I'm hungry, I should go eat. And you get back, like, I'm a little sleepy, I might just take a nap.
Yeah.
And,
With edits.
yeah.
Oh gosh, I feel
That's-
like that's when it sets in. It's like, there's plenty of other things
Yeah,
to
I
do on
could
the
be
internet.
at the pool right now.
I'll just go to a subreddit for something and just click forever on it, and yeah, I'm like, really, what am I doing? But
This is really good to hear.
yeah,
Yeah, I love working on projects. It's so much fun.
I actually enjoy editing because it's, no offense guys, but after working outside in the sun and lifting stuff, sitting in front of a computer in the AC feels like a vacation. Comparatively, no offense to the hard workers over here,
No,
but
no, it's okay.
so
I didn't
it's fun
espouse
for
to be
me.
a hard worker.
Except that I don't really know what I'm doing. So every single task, everything I do in Premiere, I'm relearning editing now because I have to learn Premiere. I was using Final Cut. I had to teach myself Final Cut. But everything I do, it's like, I need to find a tutorial for that.
Maybe at the
Where's
end
the
of the
button for
summer, we can do a video of me carving, and you can make the video. Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah.
Everyone would love to watch
Would
that.
you actually want to try carving?
Well,
Did you
That's
want to
actually-
try?
I
this
wouldn't mind
actually-
trying,
this
but
actually
I-
ties in with another question
Okay.
that somebody had. So I'm going to get around to everybody's questions, everybody, just so you know, not forgetting anybody. But I'm going to skip ahead for just 1 second because BK What We Made team said, do y'all do carving lessons?
You know, a friend of mine was just trying to convince me to do like carving classes, sort of like in the spirit of those like watercolor on Saturday classes or whatever. And I was really politely dancing around it because I didn't really want to do it. And then she got kind of annoyed and was just like, well, part of it is that I've only been carving for 3.5 years, and I kind of feel like I should get a few more years under my belt before I start claiming to be an expert.
I, on the other hand, have no problem giving
Yeah.
carving lessons. I've never actually done chainsaw carving before, but if you would like to pay me to do carving lessons, sure, let's figure it out. Let's find it out together.
I
What
have,
could go wrong?
yeah, no, nothing, absolutely.
Nothing.
Actually, well, Marshall was there for the first video that I did for the first video on this channel that launched the channel, which was gear. Marshall, you shot that, and that was the first time I'd ever made a carving. And we were just doing it honestly for the video. The carving thing came out of wanting to make a video that was specific to that. And I was planning on just doing a different kind of art for each, whatever it required for the prop. But then carving kind of took hold.
Well, that would actually, you're
Watching
actually just like somehow jumping ahead in people's Q&As, because somebody's other Mark Good's question was, what inspired you to begin carving?
You might be psychic. You might be
You
pulling
might be-
stuff from the future.
This might be a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe we're like, this is creepy.
Yeah, maybe it's some peripheral thing. Well, there's some different things. I wanted to try it. And then there was a reason to try it for the video. The idea of doing something Gears War related, using a chainsaw because of the Lancer in the game. And so, but before that, when I was a kid in Oregon, I saw it on the Oregon coast a lot. And my grandfather was also like a small scale wood carver. So I was always interested in like carving, and as an artist and sculpture and everything. Theater, there was sculpting, like styrofoam and that kind of thing. So it's hard to say. It's like just a bunch of little things that eventually add up, and then you try it and it sticks. You know. How did you guys get into videography and editing?
I actually got into film at a very young age because I was an extra in Idiocracy.
Oh, really?
You can actually see me for a brief moment in Idiocracy.
Nice.
Right before Maya Rudolph is about to get hit by a car with Luke Wilson, and she like steps back. There's like a couple of dudes walking in the background. One of them is a very like young me, and I was just on set, and I was like, "This is awesome." And that was
Idiocracy
it.
inspired your whole career?
Oh yeah, and I was like walking around. I was like, they made like a beautiful at Seaholm Power Plant. They made this like amazing like gigantic set that was all the exact stupid world of the future, and it was so fun to like walk around in. I was like, oh my god, like you can just do this for a living, like done.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
So ever since then, it was like okay.
Well, and Seaholm back then was a lot more industrial than it's becoming now. It's turning into condos. But Seaholm was actually where Jeff proposed to me. It was, and that's why we have these wedding tattoos. It's part of the sign for the Seaholm City of Austin Power Plant, which is what Seaholm is, in that area.
Well,
and how did you get into it?
My dad is a video editor, so I had access to equipment since I was like 10. So I was always doing video stuff for school projects when everyone else was doing posters and stuff.
Yeah, you're like, you can help put the project together. And
Yeah.
That's cool. So you have a sort of a legacy to maintain.
Possibly.
The dynasty.
The dynasty.
Jeez.
Let's see what other question real quick. So we've got, did you ever carve too much? Rifle said, did you ever carve too much to the point of having to start all over?
I have definitely overcarved a few things to where I have a couple pieces back there that I started that are now just chunks and shapes, and I'll just use them for something later. So yes, that has happened. And the tentpole for RTX last year, I carved. Oh, I have it. We got it.
In the meantime, we'll let's see. Max, can you ever have too many crock pots? No. I will always need more.
You could possibly have too many crock pots.
No. If you just keep them all going, you got yourself a stew going.
I see. You can put the crock pots in the crock pots.
Sorry, show and tell. So I started carving this for RTX. I was carving the shapes out, and then I was going to do little designs and stuff on them. And then I got a little bit too close in, and then I just picked it up for a second, and then it split right here. Oh yeah, where the snake twisting kind of thing was.
It split?
Yeah. So it happens sometimes where I head a little bit too far in, and then something just breaks. Anytime the grain is really short, it can pop off. That's why I've been doing more compositing.
Let's see what else we've got. Do you listen to music? Oh wait, Wrestler Robbie says, do you listen to music as you carve? If so, what kind?
I've been listening to books on tape.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys listen while you edit to things?
Oh yeah. I'll go crazy for that.
Yeah, but then when you're editing, then there's a point where you have to turn
Then
off
there's
because you
a
have to
point
listen
where
to
you
the
have
editing
to.
music.
Yeah.
Then
Like
it's
when
just
I'm
the same thing.
when I'm looking through footage and stuff, I'm always
Yeah.
The select part's fun.
I like I don't know. I like to keep my hip hop remixes going when I'm editing because it's just like like amps you up enough. But I feel like after a certain point, it just starts to sound like all like loud noises. And you're just like, no, never mind.
Yeah.
I can't play something like really like ambient or quiet because I'm just like,
Right.
so, yeah.
I can kind of do ambient, but for working, I like electronic music because it kind of makes you feel like a machine. Like, okay, gotta keep up. Like,
I am a robot.
right. It's just the spot here.
Yeah.
But books on tape keeps me interested, and it makes. Actually, I found that if I listen to a book, I'll be so into it that I'll carve for way longer. Normally, I'll get bored and like go to lunch and come up with a reason not to be working. If I'm listening to a book, I don't even realize I'm working. I'm just caught up in the story, and then I'm just doing sort of muscle memory. Like, the nice thing about sculpting too is that when you get into the zone and you can see everything, and it's not like a challenge, you just get really wrapped up in it, and you can do it forever, and you kind of don't get tired. And then later, I'll realize, oh my god, my body hurts. Like the problem lately, and I need to get a taller table, but my carving table's low, so I'll do this for 4 hours straight.
You're gonna be a hunchback.
And then I'll try to stand up, and I can't. Like, I have to, like,
You're going to live great when you're older.
and then eventually.
Come on down. Come on down and watch my carving video. I can see that. That'd be great.
I need a taller table.
Yeah, taller table for sure. The light of neon, what did you do before carving?
Oh, I worked at Rooster Teeth. But thank you for asking.
Yeah. Well, oh, sorry. What did you want to do before carving? Like, what was before you got all down this carving road, what did you...
Well, I'm probably similar to a lot of creative people. I'm assuming you guys are similar, where I know you guys both do multiple things, and at least at some point had an interest in all of them. So I like variety, and I'm still interested in variety, and I definitely carving's my passion, but I'm always kind of interested in still doing other things like writing or editing and trying to get projects and stuff together with collaborations. Is that the question that I wanted to
think so.
Oh, I was interested in puppeteering for a long time. Like, I go through phases. So
puppeteering would have been a very different departure from this.
I could still see getting into it later, maybe not from the performance side, but from the building side.
But it's just, I feel like of course we've seen, our artists in Austin that like do really amazing puppeteering, but like, I feel like if you approach anybody, it's like, I can approach people and be like, oh, what video have you been working on? Like, oh, like this chick, she does like chainsaw carving, and people are like, that's cool. I feel like if I was like, what video have you been working on? Like, oh, this chick, she does puppeteering. She makes her own puppets, and then she does like little performances with them. It's like, bye.
Yeah, but there's some cool things. Like with any kind of theater, there's like ways to do it in a new kind of way. I mean, there's definitely a lot of tradition like in the puppet side of things, but like I hung out with some friends earlier this week and had like a business development cocktail hour thing.
Mostly cocktail hour?
Yeah, it's sort of like the Austin, entrepreneurial, youth or networking, right? So we're hanging out, and they do like some really interesting theater that is incorporating technology. And so like it was cool to hang out and talk to them and just see like, I could see being interested in theater again and puppeteering and stuff in the future, but I think it would have to incorporate technology. Because otherwise you're putting so much work into it for like maybe 200 people to see it and never see it again. Like,
yeah,
that's the nice thing about film, except even film, so many projects that you work on, as you guys know, never see the light of day. So you put the work in and then build the thing or spend hours and hours and hours editing it, and then you never see it, doesn't go anywhere.
There's like so many indie like little things that I can like think of that I'm like, where did that even go? Like, is that just sitting on somebody's hard drive somewhere?
Yeah.
But okay, well, moving along, we've got two good questions that I wanted to get around to.
Well, Not Zombie Jeff says, Marshall, I've missed you.
Oh, that's sweet. I haven't seen Not Zombie Jeff in a long time. It's good to see you too.
How did the three of you come together to form this group team?
Well, you guys had met before, right? This is the first time they've really been hanging out on a social level.
We were actually very didn't like each other. We hated each other because
I didn't know about this.
Marshall was the popular girl in class, and
the pretty girl.
And the pretty girl, and I was the girl that was always wearing the brown rimmed glasses and having a ponytail, and I just needed to learn for myself that I just needed to undo my ponytail, take off the glasses. But I resented Marshall for many years because he was always getting all the hotties to invite him to the school dances.
Yeah, that's true. That's
100% true. But in a real sense, no, we were just always around each other. But I feel like it was always like you were at like an event and then you'd leave and then maybe I would like show up. It was just like really
well, your
weird timing.
Your common friend is Emily Higgins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we met on her movie, and then she worked on a film that I helped Marshall with. So it's kind of incestuous city.
So Emily Higgins.
In the best sort of way.
She's the reason involved.
She's got magical dust that she will rain down on you. So seek her out. Don't attack her. Sparhax says, would you ever just carve on the spot without planning?
I have done that, and sometimes with really good results. Like if there's a really fucked up piece of wood, and like went to a carving event, and the guy lost his wood guide right before the event, and so he just got what he could find, and it was full of ants and knots and holes. And so I was like, all right, well, if the wood sucks anyway, I might as well pick the worst log in the pile and see what I can do with it. So that was kind of a fun one where I had to stay loose because it wasn't a solid piece. I had to just see what wood was there and what I could do with it.
I like it. Next question, are there any differences in wood types when carving? This is from Panda.
Yes.
Are there any differences in wood types in carving? Any you hate carving but like the finish? Which is a very good specific question. Good job.
Yeah. Actually, the other way around, I have some unicorn horns in my front yard, big ones, and I was planning on selling them, but I'm not going to sell them because I use loblolly pine as a test, and it's the local pine here. Because I had used white pine in Pennsylvania, and that's what everyone uses up there. And the color is nice and light and uniform. The problem with using the red cedar here, which is what most carvers here use, is that it's marbled, and you don't always want that look, and already have it dark or like different colors, and it kind of messes with the design sometimes. So I carved these giant things in loblolly, and it was really like itchy, like the chunks thrown at you was like scratchier, and it was harder to rip, like it took forever. It was a lot of strength or whatever. And I finished them, and then they immediately, after I varnished them, they got moldy under the varnish. And so I had to sand them all down again, which is actually like a 9-foot carving, a 7-foot carving, like sanding it all over again. And then I treated it with mold, like a mold resistance spray, soaked the wood like crazy. And then I bleached it, bleach water. And then I used some kind of like really intense mold repellent mixed into the paint. And then I did another coat of paint over that. That was a primer. So I like completely sealed it, and then still within like a month or two, mushrooms were sprouting out from underneath it, like under the paint, and now it's got, I can see where the paint's peeling, it's like the wood's black and it's just rotting from the inside. So not worth the energy if your wood just like rots. That's why I mostly use cedar here.
So it's a great endorsement for Texas pine tree.
Yeah, loblolly.
And in the same realm, Smelly Orc asks, is the great name.
Yeah.
Is the wood that Griffon uses ethically sourced?
What do you mean by ethical?
Well, I don't know. Well,
Who are you to judge?
that went
You're just
escalated
a-
fast from here to here. But no, I would say like specifically if people don't know about like cedar in Texas.
You use
Cedar is actually pretty
free range trees though, right?
Yeah.
Cage
They're
free.
not kept in
Cage
pen.
free.
But isn't
They
it
eat each other.
what's the really invasive tree in Texas? Isn't it cedar?
Juniper.
Well,
However,
juniper, yeah.
Eastern red cedar, I was reading about it, Eastern red cedar is still considered invasive and aggressive. Even though it's a local, they still have to keep it back or it'll take over everything, and it's soak up a lot of water and everything. So cedar, Eastern red cedar that I use is actually still, like, they still have to regulate the population, and cutting it isn't like, it's not like endangered here. So, but I have been looking into that kind of thing more. I haven't cared so much about it in the past, but I've gotten some electric saws recently. And there's another project, another playlist. Oh, maybe we should talk about that. So we're about to take chainsaw culture, which is the carving playlist on the channel. You can see it up there. Now this time up. So chainsaw culture is, we're about to split it into 2 playlists. One of them is going to be, should we just talk about that?
Sure, whatever. That's fine. This is not one of my top secret projects.
Now that I know, is it better to wait?
Oh.
Well, you want to go through a couple more?
Yeah, let's do some more questions.
Okay.
We'll get back to that.
Okay, we'll get back there. But
one of them, but the new one that's not related so much to the fun like pop culture stuff is going to be a little bit more like personal and maybe focus a little bit more on sustainability and that kind of thing, and trying to experiment with reclaimed materials and stuff like that. So definitely something we've been thinking about.
Cass asks many times, how did you get started? Like officially started, which means a bunch of different things. But I guess if another question that I saw further on down was Marshall and Max, like where online would you recommend searching for media editing related jobs? Where you currently reside has none. I don't know. I feel like the getting started thing, everyone's going to have a little bit of a different response. I would say that, like, in terms of getting started, what worked best for me, and I think it works for like a lot of the freelancers, is just, you know, kind of trying to find small things, and especially if you know how to do something like video edit or film a video, even if you don't have like all the equipment and stuff, there's always little businesses, like small groups, you know, events, people that you can go, and even if you don't have a really great idea of how to do it, you can, you know, be like, hey, I want to do this. Because there's everybody always needs somebody, you know, to like work in that realm.
Well, and there's also, if you haven't gotten like actual paying gigs yet, to get enough of people hearing about you and then also have maybe a reel to show, sometimes there are like, you can do trades or like collaborations. So if there's something that you think would be great to film this band's really well known, if I could put their video with my name on it, I could get a little bit of following. Things like that, where it could be mutually beneficial projects that help you get your start. Don't do too many of those, though.
Yeah. I mean, I always believed also that, like, it's good to have a big role on a small project and always have a small role on a big project. And I think kind of making sure that you're playing both those fields really helps a lot. I mean, the thing with video, it's so project-based to get jobs that you really need a body of work. And so if you don't have that body of work, the nice thing about living in 2015 is that there are no barriers anymore. You were just talking, there was a film in Sundance this past year that was shot on an iPhone.
Yeah.
Right? And if a film shot on an iPhone can get into Sundance, like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah, stop making excuses. You don't need that fancy camera.
So, yeah, I mean, you know, do stuff for free starting off, you know, find your voice, you know, get creative, and
I like the advice of the small part of the big project, because those projects are good because you have the name on your CV that's like recognizable, like, oh wow, I've been there.
Yeah.
But then you also can get your experience and you want to learn.
Yeah.
You have more control.
And that, like, you know, when I moved to LA, one thing that was really cool was that I was suddenly surrounded by so many people that were so much better than me, and it was really a great time because I could learn a ton from these people, and they knew a lot that I didn't know. And so I think, you know, being a small cog in a big system, you can see how it works. You can see how things are done.
Yeah. Well, and then eventually too, when you get that awesome professional gig that you wanted, if you already have the experience of working in those systems that are more professional, because indie projects are great, but you don't necessarily learn a lot from the structure.
Yeah.
Interesting. Our chat might be acting weird, but no. In terms of adding on to that conversation, the only other thing that I would say is when you are trying to make that transition from working on, you know, free stuff to working on paid stuff, there's no scenario in which somebody shows up and is like, here's your money. Like, you have to basically just figure out a way to figure out like what your value is and then transfer that into a monetary amount that makes sense, that works for the person. Because, like, yeah, you only start getting paid when you ask for it. If you work on like a film job and like they don't discuss rate, it's not gonna be like, oh, at the end, like, oh, actually we're gonna pay you this large amount. It's like everything, you know, jerks kind of like rule the system in a way, and you don't need to be a jerk, but you can be
some of the attitude that gets, especially people that feel like they really paid their dues, then feel like shit flows downhill and you can take advantage of the new generation. But then other people that are a little more responsible and do the opposite, where they're like, I don't want to make people feel this way.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you do have to like sniff it out and find out early on.
And I kind of have a rule of like everybody gets one. Like if someone asks me to work on something for free, like, you know, it's like, okay, cool. But like the second time, it's like, sorry, I'm not, you know, nothing personal, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. It depends. Like if somebody approaches me about collaboration, I don't really think money, unless it's something where we create something that could make money as a thing. Then you obviously need to figure out percentages and things like that in advance. But if it's collaboration, I don't know. Then sometimes money gets in the way. Like I am definitely a strong advocate for making sure people get paid, or that you get at least make a little bit of money on what you're doing, or get the energy back. Even if it's trade, you get help, or like whatever the arrangement is. You just don't want to throw all your energy away.
Yeah.
And just give it away.
You don't want to get jaded.
Well, yes. And the problem is, and something you told me years ago, which is stuck in my brain.
Smart.
It was smart. If you get paid dirt, you get treated like dirt. That's a Marshall Rimmer saying.
Wow, I stole that from somebody, I'm sure.
Yeah, just take credit. And that's true. Like if somebody's not really paying you anything, they probably don't respect you very much,
Yeah.
or they won't respect your work, or they won't think it has any value because you didn't charge anything for it. So
Okay.
It's a tough dance to do.
it is a dance, because when you're trying to figure out somebody's budget, you don't want to scare them off because you may like the project. You know, that's where I hate that. I'm not good at the sales thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so other questions that we had, and by the way, the chat is acting a little bit weird right now. It turned all dark.
Is it working in the?
I don't know. But if you're not able to get into the chat, if you leave a YouTube comment, we'll try to get around to those too.
Yeah.
But
There'll be a
so,
record of them.
and someday someone named Google will maybe have a little bit of a nicer chat system for us.
If Google Plus
Look,
/
Please,
YouTube
Google.
happens to be watching this, I think that the Periscope, we've been Periscoping lately, and I love that the chat is on the screen, so you can almost have like eyeline with the people you're talking to instead of like,
Yeah.
you know, and then trying to find out where the chat goes.
And I think Google's great because they're a cool company.
It's a great company.
Yeah.
I love it. Google, you're the best.
Be careful to hit later.
Okay. Okay, I think we're safe. We're safe. We're safe. But no. So here we go. We've got Blank Jeebus asked, where does all your carvings go?
Where do they go? Well, at the moment they're piled up behind me.
We've got some over here.
Yeah.
Other ones are out in the
There's
world.
one up on the wall there. There's just a couple in the backyard, and I try to sell them.
Yeah.
Hint.
Hint. Hint. No.
I don't mind right now that I've got a little pile building. I've been testing eBay to see if the auction thing's working, and so far eBay hasn't worked, but I might have my web guy build like an internal auction thing that's just for my site, so it's not blocked by AdBlock. Because here's the thing, I don't think I'm gonna ever be a production artist, a production carver that can crank out the same thing over and over again and turn into a machine. Like, that's what machines are for. I
Just hire a machine.
No, I'd rather do like, there's some things I like to do repeats of, like fun things like owls and dragons and easy, fun, quick carves that you're good for events so you can do them fast. But when it comes to the other things like Bender or the dragon, something that like, I like the process of discovering it and making it, but then when you figure out once, it's not like I don't really want to do it again. So things are one of a kind, so the auction thing makes sense so everyone has a fair shot to get it.
Yeah. Well, let's see what else we've got. I want to visit Austin. What are some fun artistic things to do there?
There's that big graffiti wall.
There's the big graffiti wall. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
The Blank Check Castle. That's
Oh, yeah.
the
That's on
Hope
Lamar,
Outdoor
9th
Gallery.
Lamar, right?
Yeah.
Pretty
It's a
cool.
good artistic.
And then you can go down to the flagship central, not central market, Whole Foods.
Hopefully.
It's right over there.
Just missed Eeyore's birthday.
What was I gonna say? Just the music in general. The city is amazing. I mean, it's any genre of music live any night of the week for free,
Yeah.
and I don't think you can beat that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Food. Yeah, that's the thing, Marshall. He's happy to have greasy burgers back
Yeah.
since he's been in California.
yeah,
So he's
jeez, I miss
getting
the
his grease,
grease.
the grease quota.
Yeah, my skin's a lot better now. You know, I mean, it's
Curlin Barbecue. Pretty great. KERLIN.
I've been
Pretty
there.
great. Yeah, everybody is always freaking out about Franklin's, and Franklin's is good. We're not gonna be mad about
But you
Franklin.
can't get
What is it?
Franklin.
3 hours.
But
Yeah.
if you want to wait 3 hours,
Middle
or
Weight is pretty good, and it's a trailer. It's over by Hearts and Robots, which is a great little hair salon. If you want to get some tinsel, look like
Oh,
a My
yeah.
Little Pony.
I think one just quick piece of advice for people visiting Austin. I mean,
don't go west.
Austin has
That's a-
amazing resources in the Chronicle, Austin 360, just like the local newspapers
Yeah.
really have really easy like schedules and agendas that you can just say, oh, that looks fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely, there's a lot of resources. So if you are visiting Austin, it's
You can
easy
also
to
just
navigate.
go for the Chronicle. That's like the local weekly digest, I think. Go to auscron.com. CHRON.com.
Yeah, there's also some blog that's like 365 Things Austin,
Yeah.
which she started like 3 or 4 years ago. So there's many more than 365 things now. But
Yeah.
there's a ton of resources.
Oh, and there's a lot of nature too. The hike and bike trail. Jeff and I have been doing that in the mornings lately, and it's awesome. And they built a new part that's like this bridge, or more like a boardwalk along Riverside, and like down the river. And it's really, really pretty.
Oh yeah, the
And you can
boardwalk.
also,
Super cool.
you can, if you need to park somewhere that has parking, like on the east side or something, then if you can park near one of those hike and bike trails, you can like walk downtown really easily and not have to deal with parking and get some exercise. Smell some bat guano.
Yeah.
Get the smells of Austin.
It's a beautiful town. It will soon be a 5-story condo with retail on the bottom floor.
It'll be mixed use facility.
But that's just me being.
How can you have culture without condos?
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I'm just whining. But I'm from Austin, so I get to whine.
I just want the people from Dallas to come here and tell us how to live.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. More of that. So let's see. We've got next. Do you do WAG ask? Do you do many collaborations with other non-carver artists?
I want to do more. Okay, so one video that we have coming up. I don't want to say what it is. Hopefully, I think it'll be coming out July. I think that was when it's coming out. Doing a collaboration with my brother, who he's been in the Air Force for a few years, and he was living in Italy with his wife and baby, and now they moved to back to the States in South Dakota. He's stationed there. So now he just got his glass studio set up again. He does a torch and does like lamp working and that kind of thing. So we can start doing some glass wood collaborations.
Oh, that was actually somebody else had a question about where are you, metal worker? Somebody was talking about.
I am looking for a metal worker actually right now. I have one, but he's flip. Every metal worker I've ever met in my whole life is fucking flip. No offense, but goddamn it, just get a cell phone, keep it with the number that works forever, maybe. Email address, something.
Well, oh, here we go. It was actually a YouTube comment. So Bookworm93 asked and commented that your work is inspiring.
Thanks.
But, oh wait, this isn't the right one, but we'll answer this anyways. This is, what do you think makes the beginning of a project more simple than finishing? Like, what, like whenever you're starting, you got all the hope, you got all the excitement.
Oh, like as far as finishing me.
And then actually finishing it. Is it
a question of how to stick with something? And
yeah, I think basically like recommendations to stay focused.
I don't know about you guys, and this is something that came up earlier, especially if it's a project you're not. I have a hard time starting the projects. I'm trying to limit the projects like that because it is such a struggle to maintain the enthusiasm to the end. But the ones that you run and like, hopefully, for me, deadlines and sticking to them, breaking it down actually into chunks like production meetings. This is kind of a production meeting, but a lot of times they'll sit down and you're like, okay, we have to get this final product by this date. What are the stages and what are the middle dates? Because that'll make it go so much easier, especially for an insane amount, what seems like a huge project or an insane amount of work. It can be fine if you just make sure that you meet your target middle dates. And I've just found it's just the observation over the years of putting the energy into something and having it come back to you. And unfortunately, if you don't finish, you kind of lose it. Like if you don't get the comeback of the energy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think that just finishing things, if you just start finishing your projects and showing them to people and just putting them out there, then you'll start to see that things will pick up. And then that's its own encouragement. I think now I don't have problems finishing projects. Early on, like years ago before I kind of made this a job, it was really hard for me to finish projects. So I think it's just when you start to see things actually work out and you're getting somewhere with it, it's easier to finish future projects because you know there's a payoff.
Nice.
Yeah, I think the schedule thing is huge for me too. Like one of the most inspiring things that I've heard was from the White Stripes documentary a few years ago about their tour to Canada. And in one of the scenes, Jack White was talking about how, if you have all the money in the world and all the time in the world, all the resources in the world, it's so difficult to get things done and get things finished because you're like, oh, I'll get around to it, or oh, I can do whatever. But he was like, you know what? I give myself 3 chords and I say, what can I do with these 3 chords? I give myself 2 colors. What can I do with these 2 colors? And saying, just setting these dates and being like, I have till Wednesday. After Wednesday, I'm done. And, whatever I can do till then is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, deadlines are just such a huge thing.
Yeah, I do like right now I have a to-do list, which is like 5 months long, just because I have to stay on the schedule. So I've mixed in I've got like 3 different documents just for the projects that we're working on right now. One of them is just the release schedule. And then I have the other one, which is more production schedule. Like, okay, this is when we can actually shoot these and what we have to have ready by these things. And then there's the to-do list, which is the day-to-day, all of the pieces in between. And then I have taken all pieces of those and put them on the to-do list. So it's like 5 months long plus these reinforcing documents. Just so something happens.
Wow.
You're back at Rooster Teeth. You were, I thought, one of the more organized. You'd always have production lists. You always had like all the props needed, the date needed them. They needed mine. Like, you're pretty organized.
Yeah, I'm very organized.
What about you? Are you organized?
Sometimes, sporadically.
That's not really organized.
It's a battle. It's a battle with ADD, ADHD, or one of those two. I'm not exact. I've never been officially diagnosed, but I definitely
just self-diagnosed, self-medicated.
Definitely no. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's just like getting me to focus on something. It's like I just have like a shotgun blast through life kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Which is somewhat worked.
Well, but being a freelancer, it does as much as you can try to plan. You do have to kind of stay loose and juggle things a little bit.
Yeah. But so easy question, real quick. Sam Lee F says, "What was your most recent tattoo?" I have none, so it would be
my tree, which has leaked a lot of the ink. I forgot that I was going to do a carving event right after, which now I want to get hand tattoos before that because it ended up getting full of mud and getting rubbed by gloves, and it got really infected, and a lot of the green fell out of it. I need to get it touched up.
Oh no! You made Marshall disappear.
I went to Oregon to get it. My brother and I were there, so he was in the States at that time for a visit. It's like a year and a half ago. We went. I saw that the first shop I ever got tattooed at in Corvallis, Oregon. It's like you go up Monroe. For those of you in Corvallis area, on Monroe, like by the college, that little corner, like building, and inside Sacred Art Tattoo. That's the place that the same owner and everything from when I was 18, which wasn't that long.
It was like 3 years ago.
No, for a tattoo shop, that's quite a while to be open and be the same people and everything. So I was like, holy shit, I need to just go and get a tattoo there for old time's sake. But and that was kind of fun to do. So it was last week. And then I had my brother. It was his first tattoo to get tattooed in the same shop. It was cool.
Next easy question. Well, actually, we got some good chainsaw discussions because I've seen this a couple times. But Lime Gloves asked Griffin, what type model of chainsaw do you use primarily?
Okay.
And then somebody else said that Aviation 100 octane gasoline seems to work really well in theirs.
Oh, really? That sounds expensive. Well, I usually get like premium, and then I mix it with this 2-stroke engine oil, and that's what I use for the saws. And then my big saw. Actually, let me go look at it real fast.
What do you chainsaw with? I personally prefer a good, a really big chainsaw because
the big ones are nice because they're big.
Yeah, and you can really just chainsaw the big cuts.
But the small chainsaws, you can kind of, they're a little smaller.
Yeah, you know what I really love about all of us, like us working on this, is that we've really learned so much about the process.
This is the largest saw I have at the moment. And this has just the regular bar that comes on. It's 20 inches.
Oh, that's the one I was talking about.
Right.
Yeah,
MS261C. I guess that's what it is. This is one of my newer ones. So that's for mainly like cutting the ends to make them really smooth so the carving doesn't rock. And then if the piece of wood is big enough to take out the big chunks before you start detailing. And the power gouge, which I got recently, is on the steel MS171.
I thought you were going to cut me.
Sorry. And then my 12-inch carving bar, which is my most versatile one, is on the steel MS192. But the rear handle, no, actually, and then I think that's normally the rear handle. And then my little tiny baby cute little detail saw with the 8-inch carving bar, that's the steel MS150, which is great. But you can't usually get it, the rear handle model, and that's when you're carving, if you are planning on starting carving, rear handle, don't do the top handle arborist saw. They're lightweight, but you can't control them, from when you need like the steering ability. But it is hard to find the MS150 as a rear handle, but if you happen to buy it, and then if you don't even use it, sell it to me.
So do you think you would have been able to set up your studio as easily, easy being subjective, in a less artistic city?
Probably, well, Austin is getting expensive.
It is getting expensive.
So maybe it's a city that was a little bit less, I don't know, hip.
It's
would be a little easier.
Yeah, but it's hard to think because okay, people always assume Texas towns, they always assume all of them, outside of Austin is just crazy, super backwoods type stuff. But you can go around in Texas and there's certain really small cities, for instance, everybody's gonna always say Marfa in West Texas for sure. But then there's like Comfort, Texas,
Oh, so cute.
near Fredericksburg.
If you like
like-
antique shops.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even there, it's like you could totally like have a little artistic, vendor setup
Well,
thing,
and
and it would,
Fredericksburg's relatively. I saw some land there. It was like
Oh,
acres and acres, pretty cheap.
yeah, Fredericksburg, Comfort. Like, there's a whole bunch of, I think, like smaller towns that have artistic vibes. I feel like it
Or-
might be a little bit easier to get your stuff out there, especially if you're putting stuff out online. I think maybe the only benefit with Austin is kind of like the benefit if we were all living in LA, where it was like we'd all be around everybody else. We're around some people here, but like LA people are, of course, around all of us.
Which I guess it would depend on like what LA is good like for what you do.
Yeah.
To get back to other communities in the area, San Marcos is where I used to live before I moved here, and it's changing fast and it's getting bigger and everything. But it's a great college town with an awesome river, and it's really pretty and people are friendly and food's good. It's like 30 minutes where you can drive to Austin and go out.
So
and
here's
do
the
things.
problem about Texas is that we sell it on being an amazing place, and then everyone moves here. We have to tell people
Yes, but you
Texas is
they're like,
awful.
Okay, I get you want
It's
to live in
terrible.
Austin.
The food is awful. There's no music.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
I get you want to live in Austin, but check out San Marcos. Lockhart.
Hey, I mean, I as the lone hipster who gets to be like, I was born here, I grew up here, never left here, man. I would have to say, I don't know, like if Austin gets like super expensive and like lame,
You might leave.
I mean, I could see myself leaving, but I know it would probably be to somewhere right around nearby, like
Yeah.
San Antonio, quiet,
But you should get out of your
really
comfort
cheap
zone.
downtown.
Everyone's got. You're young. You're like.
I also raise cattle in Texas.
Oh, that's
so
true. He's
there
a
is
rancher.
that. There is that. So I can't go too far.
Wait, how many cows do you own again?
I own 6 cattle now.
It's funny when
5
people talk
heifers
about
and
like,
1 bull.
Texas stereotypes. It's like, oh yeah, I do own cows.
Yeah,
I've got a couple
Yeah,
cattle,
yeah.
but a hobby level amount of
I just like to keep on shaking it up, Like, y'all don't know what I do. But, yeah. Let me think. Well, let's see what else we got here.
We got about 8 minutes left on our stream, and then we all have to go do job stuff.
Oh,
Oh, yes. Well, so also, let's put it out there for right now. We've been trying to do our best to get around to all the questions. I think we covered everything in the chat room before it blew up. So we probably won't get around to all of our YouTube questions, but maybe in the YouTube comments, tell us what kind of things you would want to like see Griffon carve.
Yeah.
Like if there's some sort of like cool thing, even if it's like really niche, just put it out there and we'll see. We don't know.
All right, so let's talk about the name of the playlist, because this ties into that nicely.
Perfect.
Okay, so originally we were talking about by request or something along those lines to try to get a little bit more, interaction, like not collaborating exactly because you're not, making cuts or anything, but, this could be a collaborative experience between all of us. We've decided on challenge accepted. So if you are interested in sending some ideas or like a challenge, text works, tweets work, but video clips also work. And then if you want to send those, send them to info@griffonramsey.com. And if you have any issues with that email, let me know because it's new. But info@griffonramsey.com. You can send
Carrier pigeons.
carrier pigeons.
Carrier
Yeah,
pigeons,
right.
yeah.
You can send challenge accepted request. So send a challenge.
Yeah. And that could be like a challenge, like a type of sculpture, or, maybe it's like, I don't know.
A character.
Do
or
a carving
scene.
in front of a party or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is why I'm not coming up with the challenge.
Well, I was thinking about sending anything too. Maybe because I'm interested in doing some more portraits. I did a Reagan portrait a while back, and I don't care too much about Reagan necessarily, but it was fun to try to get real specific with his features. So I'm interested in maybe doing some more portraits in the future too. So I was thinking of it doing maybe a Woman Crush Wednesday or a Man Crush Monday type thing. So if there's somebody really hot too, just let me know. And I'll check him out or her out. Just don't send nudes, but close.
I provide enough nudes for everybody. And if you would like any nudes, just please email info@griffonramsey. Don't do that. Please don't
Let's
do
not
that.
fill that email like
No.
That's why I had to make a new one. Stop it.
So one little small question that I thought was worth answering. Nats316 asked, "What's your favorite creation?"
Of all time.
Yeah. What was your favorite like carving creation?
I prefer working large scale. So the ones that stick out in my memory are and things that I guess get the most into and excited about and excited to show off are the really big pieces. And that is the cool thing about chainsaw carving is that you can do really large scale stuff relatively quickly.
I like it.
What about you guys? Favorite thing you ever worked on?
Oh, I hate them all.
You don't like any
No,
projects?
I
What
hate
about when
them
you
all.
filmed Trent Reznor running
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
around?
Well, I get to be all like name dropping.
You have to drop some names.
Okay.
That's part of the business.
Yeah. So I worked on Boyhood.
Oh, that's right. You had to go to the Oscar party.
I did. Well, but I was like a PA and a snack person on Boyhood. Still counts.
Is that why I
Yes.
didn't see you for like 15 years?
Probably. Yeah, I was away for 15
You
years.
were also
on
heavily
that. I
heavily
started when I was
featured in
11.
Idiocracy.
I was heavily featured in Idiocracy, and I also worked on the Scenes from the Suburbs, the Arcade Fire Spike Jones thing.
Wow.
Yeah. That was really fun. That was like a whole bunch of fun. So
You worked on Spy Kids 4 too. How was that?
I did work on Spy Kids 4. Spy Kids 4 is a movie that is out in that is not in theaters. It is on video on demand. Go to your local Blockbuster and pick it up.
I saw Blockbuster the other day.
Really?
I was like, I thought they were all done. Somewhere in
Maybe
some
I think it's probably
Texas
like a
town.
money laundering decoy.
It might-
You're like, let's just have
They're like,
Blockbuster. and we'll run money through
Blockbuster.
it.
It's got quotations around it. Let me see. Will there be more Marshall and Max and more videos in the future?
Well, I'm interested in doing more streaming, especially when we hit 75,000 subscribers on this channel. Want to do a really fun big party with musical guests and some other cool things, maybe some giveaways, that kind of thing.
So
As
I'll
far
be
as
the
like,
musical guest.
well, we have some collaborations we're all working on.
Yeah.
Marshall has got some projects he can't talk about. Don't ask him ever. But I'll be helping out on those.
That's how I roll.
And then Max and I we're going to start an ASMR channel. Oh, we've already got the name.
Don't announce it yet.
Okay.
We'll be secretive.
Guys, it's not cool being secret.
We're being too secretive. I swear I'll be less secretive when I have like more that I'm ready to show. Because I feel like if I say stuff and then
That's the
I
worst,
show
yeah.
it, like I feel like if I tell somebody like a really cool idea, I'll be like, cool, that person got that idea, and then I just never I don't like follow through on it.
And only one person knows you didn't follow through.
Yeah, but
And they'll hate you for it.
somebody asked Jan Lynn asked if would it be possible to place orders outside U.S. like Europe, and
Oh.
what would you imagine the price would cost?
I need to work a little bit more on that. I need to try to figure out if there's some workarounds. I've had a lot of trouble. Well, the main problem is it's so heavy. Australia, I don't think I can ship to anyway because quarantine stuff with wood.
Mhm.
Except T-shirts, I've sent some through, and it was really expensive through the website to get the shipping quote for like a T-shirt and a necklace that I sent recently. But then when I took it there, it was a lot more affordable. Oh, I owe that guy money. Remind me later.
Learning things
Also,
left and
to
right.
the two people
Good
that I was supposed to
question.
be shipping. What was the question?
Um,
Oh, what, going to Europe or whatever. Working on it still. The best,
Do they not have trees in Europe? I'm confused.
yeah, so that's the thing. If you would like a carving in Europe or some cool, really cool exotic location, find your local carving show, any kind of chainsaw carving event or big art event, recommend me as a guest. Because then if I come to town, I can do commissions. It'll be a lot less expensive for you. I get to try your local wood and see how it is.
it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, I
I
learned
might get a
something.
European vacation out of it.
You
Sounds
get a little
great.
carving. Yeah.
That sounds nice.
The other question, somebody asked this somewhere, but they were asking if you were going to be at RTX this year.
Yes, and actually, Rooster Teeth's they're giving me a booth again, and then I'm gonna do 2 carving shows. So I think one on Friday, one on Saturday. I think Sundays for other things. I don't know the schedule yet, but be a couple of carving shows. I'm gonna be using electric saws indoors, so I can actually carve inside. And then some of you who haven't had a chance to come here can get to see a carving show. And then the carvings from those shows are going to be donated to the charity, which I think is Child's Play for
Mhm.
RTX.
I think so.
I think it
Right.
is. Yeah, so it'll be donated
We've
to
lost
the
the chat.
charity.
Nobody can confirm anything for us.
We're just
but-
going to assume you're agreeing. Yeah, okay.
Cool.
Thanks. You guys
But,
are awesome.
let's see.
We have 1 minute, guys. Do you guys
We got-
want to plug any of your things or talk about any things you got going on? Or like mention your Twitter handles again for those?
Oh yeah. There we go. For the people leaving, Max Kruemcke is mine.
At
Max Kruemcke is my Twitter handle. I'm going to be hopefully getting a comic out sometime in the very, very near future.
a webcomic?
A web comic, and it's gonna be weird. So that's I think as far as I'll go there.
Okay.
And then at mrim86, I will be posting about all my top secret projects. This should be coming out around 2024, sometime around then. So, yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah,
right?
stay tuned. I know you're on suspense.
You follow him on Instagram just in case he posts anything. I'm at Griffon Ramsey, and Twitter is where I do the sort of, I guess, quick little updates. Instagram is a good place to keep track of things. Definitely subscribe to this channel. And this is definitely where we're putting a lot of energy. I'm putting a lot of my energy into this channel, and sort of where I'm trying to make a home base here. All of our energy on this channel.
Oh, I think it's there. I think it's there.
Subscribe.
Subscribe, maybe here.
Yeah, Max got it.
Somebody will find it, but like
or maybe a
it's-
box. We'll put a
Yeah,
box
like
right
put a
here.
box, like
Subscribe.
Can we do that?
there we go.
All right, thanks guys. See you later.
Thank you.
No, really, stop.